Hey everyone, it's Jenny Dietrich back for another Spin Sucks Inquisition. We've had a few-week break due to vacations, but I'm back, and I'm very happy to introduce you to somebody for our return who lived in Chicago for many years and has moved more than halfway around the world, I think. At least halfway around the world. It's 9 o'clock where I am and 5 o'clock where he is. So we're going to have a very interesting conversation, not just about the marketing world, but about what he's doing. And please, sir, tell us who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Aaron Friedman. I work at 5 Blocks. I'm the director of innovation here, and I'm very excited to be here. I've been a fan of Ginny and Spin Sucks for years.
So, first of all, what is 5 Blocks?
5 Blocks, we are a digital reputation management firm. So what we work with brands and individuals, and we help position them online in search results. Our playing field is really Google more than anything else.
Yep.
So we work with them to make sure them show prominently in Google, and what is their story? Is it being told correctly? Is all the information there accurate? Is there negative content that they don't want there? We try to help reshape that and really position the company appropriately online.
So content marketing, some SEO, probably a little bit of media relations.
So yeah, and actually the truth is, as far as like media relations goes and all that, we partner best with PR firms on that, because we don't do any of that stuff ourselves. We really partner with companies because we don't think that we're best suited for it, but we do know that we're very good at search engines. So we try to make all the great content that's coming out of, let's say, a PR firm or a content marketing firm or whatever it may be. We try to get that stuff to show up as high and prominent in the results, to just reshape the story and really make sure, zero in on what they want their messaging to be. So
I'm totally going to put you on the spot. I should have brought this up before we recorded, but I just saw that Google's making some more changes, which is
always
uncommon, right? But it looks like if you have pop-ups on your website or on your mobile site, that they will decrease your search rankings.
Oh, I'm so glad I saw something about that before. Yeah, so it doesn't, I'm not sure, but it's funny how that stuff plays out, because my understanding, and I've spoken with Google engineers about this before, my understanding of how the algorithm works in general is that the algorithm is this it's like a box, and they just keep shoving things into it. And it's what it is. It's like almost a recommendation box.
Right.
And you don't know what happens to any of those recommendations, but they're all there and they're all good. And the hope is that somebody is going to make changes there. So I think to some extent, Google's algorithm kind of functions the same way. It's a lot of different pieces that are stitched together to make something. So in theory, will they penalize a site for that? Probably. Is it in practice? Does it always happen exactly like that? Not really. In fact, we were just literally just having a discussion about this today. We had a client we were talking about, and this gets a little geeky, so sorry. But
no, I love the geeky. Please.
Okay. When we were talking about a client who had a site, and their webmaster had done a 302 redirect instead of a 301 redirect. Now, classic SEO would say that's a bad idea, don't do that. But new things that have come out about Google have said that Google treats them exactly the same nowadays.
Huh.
Right. So that kind of threw me for a loop a little bit, because I've always been under the understanding that 301s and 302s are different.
Right.
And
I have too.
301 is permanent and 302 is temporary. But now, if Google's treating them the same, then it's hard to sort of make that recommendation to use a 301 over a 302. But the thing is, to some extent, it's also theoretical, because that's what they're saying. Maybe if you use a 302, it'll still fall out of the search results at some point.
Right.
So we had to go back to the client and say, the client said, is this implemented correctly? But it was a 302. So now we have to choose and say, well,
is it okay to?
Right, because what happens 6 months later when Google says, okay, you said it was a temporary redirect, but it's been redirecting for the past 6 months. So bye-bye. And they just drop it out of the search result. And that, in theory, is how it's supposed to happen. But now they're saying, in theory, that's not how it's supposed to happen. So I don't know.
It's so frustrating to try to keep up with all this. So, now, I mean, we're going to have the internal conversation. Do we take the pop-ups off our mobile site? And do we recommend that for our clients as well? Because they sure work. So,
Right. Yeah.
Is it worth the risk, or I don't know.
Right. It might be, again, I think that what'll happen is over time, people will test it and they'll find maybe less aggressive ways to do that, or ways that, maybe are a little less invasive that would comply with what Google's telling you that they want. Google, by the way, Google had stuff about this a long time ago with I think it was with mobile. I think it was mobile friendliness.
Yep.
Also made
last April.
Yeah, but I know lots of sites that didn't go mobile friendly, and they're still doing just as well.
They're still doing just fine. Yeah.
Right. So it's kind of hard to say, and then but ultimately what will happen is that at some point they will come in and they'll do a whole algorithm refresh. So now they'll actually open up that figurative box that I was talking about, and they'll say, okay, this was a good thing, this was a good thing, and they'll actually restructure the whole algorithm, kind of really glue everything together and say, this is the new algorithm. So I think that is how, when you hear of an algorithm refresh, that's really what they're talking about. There's all these little ones along the year, and then every once in a while they do a major
big, yeah. So when you hear about the big one, that's when you should be prepared. It's keep in mind that all this stuff's going to change. It might not affect you right now. I like your mug. That's awesome. All right. So we talked about that. What does the director of innovation do?
Oh my gosh.
Besides travel the world.
Well, that's a good question. So, there's a bunch of different pieces here. So we have what I was originally brought in here to do was we have a technology called Impact, and it's a monitoring dashboard for reputation, for digital reputation. So we capture Google search results on a daily basis. We compare them day by day, week over week, month over month. As long as we have the data, we can make the comparisons. But we're also splicing it into different ways. So you can mark it up with positive, negative sentiment. You can do I own it? Do I not own it? Different authority types. And then I think what I like about it the most is you can actually start to compare yourself against a competitor and say, well, what's showing up for 10 of my competitors versus me, and how do I get myself to look? You don't always you want to kind of sometimes you want to be the unique one and stand out, but in this case, you kind of want to blend in, because in a segment online, if a whole group of people has, let's say, a Forbes article showing up and you don't, you should probably strive to get that Forbes article, because it'll help make you similar to them and better tell your story and show that. So that's the kind of analysis we can do in the breakdown. You can also do it by geographic location and mobile versus desktop, and so a lot of fun stuff. So I am technically the product manager for that, although I think we're officially going to hire someone else to take it over because it's getting huge.
Too much.
Well, so I'll still be very involved in it, but we want someone to help kind of market it and really kind of get it out a little bit more. Sure. And also some other technology, we're building a Wikipedia tracker right now. So that's one of our newer products.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we will have that, and also one of the reasons. So that's one of the reasons I'm traveling a lot is for also business development. So I've also started a little bit more of the business development in our company. So I take a lot of the meetings and meet with our partners and a lot of the clients that we have and some of our strategic clients that we're working with. So we just meet with them on a regular basis. So I'm usually on the road every 4 to 6 weeks or so.
It seems like more than that, but
summer was a lot, but it's usually every 4 to 6 weeks for about 5 days. And it's because I'm in Israel, it's like a 12-hour flight.
Right. Which brings us to the next question. You're in Israel.
Yes.
So you were in Chicago. You moved 3 years ago.
Yes. So I was in Chicago. I moved 3 years ago. It's something my wife and I always wanted to do. So we ended up here, and we have not looked back. I mean, our family's still there. We miss them, but
sure.
But we just love it here. We're so happy. We made a great group of friends. We love where we live, and yeah.
It's so cool. So before we started recording, we were talking about sort of the political environment there.
Yes.
Is it good? Is it bad? Is it?
Well, it's complicated, that's for sure. It's a complicated place here.
You don't have Voldemort running for office. You can say that.
We don't have that. That is true. We don't have that. Some people say they don't like our leadership either, but I try not to get too political. But
Right.
all in all, it's again, it's during good times, it's the best place ever. During bad times, oddly, it's actually also one of the best places, like very family oriented, and people kind of really gel together and rally behind each other, and there's a lot of support, and everyone's kind of on the same mindset. People don't always agree on things, but everyone understands, like, we need to, I guess, protect each other and be there for each other and support. So it's kind of this everyone here kind of feels very family oriented. Like, everyone's kind of in everyone's business in some sense. Like, my wife's at the supermarket with the baby, and like this nice old lady will like start yelling at her about something, and then she'll be like, "Oh, slicha, I'm sorry," and then she'll like start yelling at the cashier, and she'll take the baby, she'll hold the baby, and she'll start like saying like, "You have to do this," and it's just everyone's kind of up in everyone's business, so it's very fun like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
So perhaps this might be. Let me step back. You know how you live in Chicago and the crime rate here is very high. It's the highest in the country.
Sure.
And so people outside of Chicago really feel like I will walk out my door and there are bullets whizzing by, which, as you well know, is not the case, right? Plus, I'm in a very yuppie part of town. But so this may be very naive or even ignorant of me, but I see stuff on the news, and then I follow you on Strava, and I see that you're like riding your mountain bike up a mountain, and you're out there, and there's all this stuff going on, that's dangerous. And I'm looking at that going, go back inside.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So I remember like 2 years ago. I don't know. I used to ride my bike to work every day. And to get to my office, there's a part I have to ride through that wasn't so safe. And it wasn't safe because that's where, like, at the end, there just tends to be a lot of activity on in that area. And so I stopped riding my bike to work, but I still ride in areas that are slightly safer. So I think that there's always this aspect of being on guard and being cautious, that still living your life and still doing it. Like, I still, at any given time, I live 15 minutes away from Jerusalem, which is just,
right.
Who can say that?
Right.
So I go like walk around like the market there, and I go to the Western Wall, and I just like, I do my thing, and I can do that anytime I want, and I'm not going to stop that because like you said, it's not like there's bullets whizzing around, but at the same time, be on guard. And I think the entire country is a little bit more on guard. Like, it's, there are random attacks that happen, but also I think a nice percentage of this country is carrying weapons. But it's not like Chicago carrying weapons. It's like, you have to have, it's not like anyone can get a gun here. You actually have to go through very, very process to get it. Like, I don't have one yet, but you actually have to live here for 3 years, and then you have to go for your interview, and you have to apply for your license, and there's a lot of bureaucracy, and it goes through all this stuff. Yeah, for sure. I'm all for people having guns, but it's just crazy to me that there's no license you have to have.
Right. You can just walk in and buy an AK-15 and it's no big deal.
But here you can't, and in fact, you can't get an AK-15. Well, you can get a handgun at the most. Like, you can't have. There isn't like rampant gun crazy ownership here. It's very, very secure. And by the way, there's crazy laws about it. If you fire your weapon, you will effectively, no matter when you fire your weapon, you'll go to jail, whether you were allowed to. Yeah, and there's also crazy rules about if you're in a threatening situation. I don't know. I don't know enough about them yet.
Yeah.
But if you're in a threatening situation, according to the letter of the law, you actually need to fire a warning shot before you do anything. So you have to shoot in the air and then shoot at your attacker, which is crazy because if you're actually
right. Hang on one sec.
But you'll get arrested. You'll actually get arrested if you don't do those kind of things.
Fascinating.
Yeah, so they're really strict about some things here. But again, just I guess to ease anyone's fears about it, I feel safe here. I feel actually very safe here. Just again, you just have to be on guard and make sure that you're just paying attention.
Sure.
It's a wonderful place.
Let's turn to marketing now.
Yes.
What is one of the biggest trends that you see in the forthcoming year that you're excited about?
Well, that's a good question. I can tell you what I've been most interested in lately.
Awesome. That's perfect.
I've been messing around with, so I didn't get into Snapchat very much, and I didn't get into it because part of what I tried it a little bit, and I didn't have an audience there. I didn't have anyone that I could start. Like I didn't feel like building a whole new audience. It wasn't, and even the funny thing is those filters were kind of not so enjoyable for me either, to be honest.
It's fun for the kids though. You just stick there. Yeah. I mean, I don't do anything with it. You don't have to take pictures or anything, but it's fun for them.
Right. So like that kind of stuff is fun, but I couldn't get myself into it, and I kind of just didn't really want to get into it. I was kind of a little too busy. But Instagram Stories, on the other hand, yes, Instagram Stories has been much more interesting to me because I already have an audience there.
Right.
So I know that people look at pictures and don't always like them, but it's kind of cool now that I can see how many people are actually looking at a story, and it's way more people that are actually looking at so there's something interesting about there's something interesting to me about this idea of seeing. It's almost like Google Analytics, right? You see in Google Analytics how many people go to your website. Right. So with Instagram Stories, I know how many people are watching something. I think I have an advantage in Instagram Stories because my name is Aaron, and I think that
yes.
I think that they're prioritizing that. So
we'll all have to change our name.
So that might help. Like I was always the kid that got called out first in school. And actually, the funny thing is that you remember those old like Nokia phones?
Yes.
Yep. Literally, I'm not exaggerating. At least 2 times a day when I was younger, I used to get fake pocket calls because someone would inevitably not lock their phone and it would call the first number, and it was always yeah. So I always got phone calls every single day.
Funny. That's funny. That's really funny. What's the best book you've read in the last 6 months?
Well, I'm in the middle of reading a very enjoyable book right now. It's called Fooled by Randomness. By what's his name?
I'm terrible with that. My mother-in-law will say, who wrote that book? I'm like, I don't know who wrote the book, but it's really good.
Yeah, his name is, I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Fooled by Randomness.
If only there was a way to find out.
Right.
So his name is, it's not showing up. It's loading. His name is Nassim Nicholas Taleb.
And what's it about?
It's all about
being fooled by randomness.
Well, yeah. So it's basically about this idea, and I'm not done with it yet, but I'm enjoying it. It's all about how you look at someone and you're like, oh, they're super successful, and you think that it's just like this, this random occurrence, but really, there is to some extent there is this randomness that's happening, but it always, like, he could predict almost like when something would end up, blowing up in someone else's face. Like he talks about like the stock market and all these traders that he'd see, and he'd say, listen, this guy is like super aggressive and he's super he's super bullish on certain things, but eventually he doesn't really know what he's doing. He doesn't really have a strategy, so it all blows up in his face. And so like you think that it's a very, very, like, very kind of cool thing that talks about chance and all sorts of it's just cool to see in the business world.
I'll have to check it out. Kelly would like that too. Do you guys binge on television shows?
The truth is I do more than my wife, but partially because I'm traveling a lot. So
yeah. So what's your latest?
My latest right now, I am loving Mr. Robot.
I've heard that. You're not the first person to say that.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good.
All right, I'll have to check it out this winter when I'm on the trainer.
It's so crazy. I mean, and the crazy thing is it's all about hacking, which is kind of just fun anyway. Yeah. And it takes place in New York where I am a lot anyway. So I'm standing there. I'm like kind of down by the Freedom Tower, and some kid walks up to me, shows me, and he goes, "Hey, do you know how I get to?" Hi. He says to me, "Do you know how I get to this spot?" And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, it's right there. And I'm like, I'm kind of a tourist at this point.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, it's right there. And I'm kind of guiding him around. And he's like, okay, great, thanks a lot. And he walks away. And I'm like, what did he just do to me? Did he bug me? So I get all
Did
like,
I just
crazy.
get hacked?
Yeah, I got super paranoid that like, cause I was watching how they're doing some of this stuff. And I'm like, this is not happening to me. This is not going down like this. I was so freaked out. It took me a good like 15 minutes, like
Calm
kind of
yourself
get myself
down.
in order and realize that I didn't get hacked. I started checking my emails. I started checking my passwords. I was like it really creeped me out. So there's that. And then the truth is another one that I'm watching, which I'm also binging, is Billions.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one's good too. I haven't seen
which
that
is
either.
also just fantastic. But those are just a few of them.
All right, Mr. Robot and Billions. Fooled by randomness. All right, so now it's time for the unexpected part of the
Going down.
Yes.
Hi, Aaron. Oh, I love that.
Hi.
Isn't that mug funny?
That's great.
I have to get good credit. I got it from Maz.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
That's so fun. What a great
sent me a
thing
little-
behind. That's
They sent
awesome.
me a little package, so that was nice of them.
It's been so long since I've
Brag.
talked to you, Aaron. I'm going through withdrawals. It's really stressful
I know. We'll catch up very soon.
because someone's been vacationing for work all over.
For work.
Vacationing for work.
That's a good way to say it, though. I like that. I don't even know what that means, but
I was like, okay, so you went here and you went here and you went here, and then you were in Amsterdam for 12 hours and you rented a bike and you're riding through the city, and all I can think is, how are you not dead?
No.
I crashed hard when I got home. Don't worry.
I bet. I bet you did. Holy cow.
Yeah.
All right, Aaron. So I hope that you are ready for 5-second roll.
It's been a few weeks. I'm out of practice.
Yeah, that's right. It has been a few weeks. This is very stressful across the board.
I like that it says that you're Jenny Dietrich. I'm taking over the world one person at a time.
We hacked her.
She logged in on my account probably.
It's Zoom and I have fights about my identity constantly.
Or you are Mr.
I'm
Robot.
winning!
I know. Jenny is trying to take over my life, essentially, and she has Zoom in on the whole thing. All right, Miss World Domination,
Yes.
you may begin.
Well, global domination. It matches my
Global domination. I'm sorry.
matches my initials.
Yes. Yes. That's.
Interesting.
Anyways, let's move on.
Would you also like to know, Aaron, that when people ask me my middle name, I tell them Olivia so that my initials are GOD.
Stop that.
This is what I work with.
That's amazing.
Yep.
Not my middle name, but I tell people it is.
I would also.
Okay, sorry, Laura, your turn.
All right. Would you please name?
Me?
Yes, you.
Okay.
Yes. God. Okay.
God.
Princess Jenny, as I finally like to say. Would you please name 3 living creatures that have shells?
Snails, crabs, and oysters.
Well done.
I just came back from the beach.
Yes, that's true. That was a good one for you. All right. Okay, Aaron, would you please name 3 frozen desserts that are not ice cream?
Ooh.
Oh, that's okay. A popsicle. They're not ice cream. Popsicle, frozen cherries, and frozen chocolate. I keep frozen chocolate in my freezer, and I keep frozen cherries in my freezer.
That works. You could also do,
Yeah.
like Girl Scout cookies. We freeze those. Yeah.
Okay, yes, excellent.
I freeze bananas. Yeah, I get it.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frozen fruit is a great dessert. I totally agree. Yeah, you're good. Golden. Come on. All right, Jenny, would you please name 3 types of swim stroke?
Butterfly, breast, and something else.
Back.
That's what I would have said.
Side.
What's the normal stroke called?
That's freestyle, I think.
Freestyle. Thank you.
Front stroke.
Huh?
Front stroke.
That's what breaststroke and then butterfly.
In front.
Backstroke.
Middle.
Jenny and I are training to be Olympic swimmers. If you
No,
hadn't.
I'm not. I cannot breathe underwater. I know most people cannot breathe underwater, but I really cannot breathe underwater.
So here's the thing. I just went scuba diving when I was in Mexico, and I know, and I freaked out. I actually had like a panic attack under the water for a minute, but then I got used to it. But then when I just came back and I went swimming at the beach, I like wanted to be underwater so badly, and but I couldn't.
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Huh. That's interesting. So Aaron is training to be a merman.
I am. I've been practicing. I'm making progress.
Which now I'm gonna have the Zoolander merman in my head. All right. Forever. I'll have to text that to Jenny over and over again later. Okay, Jenny, would you please name 3 modern languages that use symbols in their written script?
Are you serious? Why can't you ask Aaron that?
Because Aaron will get it. It's easy for Aaron. No, go.
Okay, good. I think she skipped me.
Latin, Hebrew, and Chinese.
Good job.
Seriously?
Well, you doubted yourself, but you pulled through because you had faith and you went for it.
That was good.
That was very good. Okay. Aaron, would you please name 3 cartoon characters you wish were not fictional?
Oh, wow. Seriously? Okay, great. I like this. Bart Simpson.
No way.
Stewie. Well, actually, no, he should say fictional. That would be bad. Cartoon character. Yogi Bear.
Yogi Bear is a good one.
Yogi Bear. And I want to say Bugs Bunny.
Jessica Rabbit. Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit would have been a good choice. No, I'm married, so.
You can look. There's nothing wrong with looking.
Okay, from a distance, maybe. That's actually maybe not, because wasn't there a cartoon where she became real?
Yes, Dick, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
Such a good movie.
Okay, Ginny, would you please name 3 TV shows you'd like to be cast in? And these Netflix series as well, since I know.
Okay. The Killing, The West Wing, and House of Cards.
So we're going to ignore the fact that The Killing was the first one that came to Ginny's mind.
We know this, right, about me? That
yes,
I'm
we do know this about it.
I'm obsessed with murder.
By the way, I have not seen yet House of Cards, and I think
What?
I know, it's like
I haven't
so many.
So, yeah.
You haven't
It needs
either?
to be next. It needs to be next.
I think it has to be. Although I have 2 new ones on my list.
Nope. Push them aside. House of Cards.
Did you watch Stranger Things?
Loved Stranger Things.
I didn't see it yet. I thought my wife might enjoy it also.
She would like it, yeah.
I should watch that one next.
Yep.
Maybe.
Your wife would like House of Cards as well, I'm sure.
All right, fine. So we'll do both.
All right.
Whew, I'm glad that's figured out. That was a stressful few moments.
I know.
Because Jenny starts talking about murder, and then she argues about murder.
I almost said The Night Of, which I just finished, which also is about murder, so.
Yes, I know. It's concerning. Okay. Aaron, would you please name 3 favorite pizza toppings?
Okay. Onions, green olives, and
That sounds good. Yeah.
Cheese, pepperoni, sausage,
cheese count? Does
hamburger,
cheese count?
pineapple, ham.
I was going to say pineapple. I'm going to go with pineapple because I was going to say that. I haven't like, it's not the kind of thing that I typically just like open up a can and dump on some pineapple.
Right.
Maybe I should.
Put it on your pizza. It's delicious.
Oh, but you want to know what I have been putting on everything nowadays is I got this in Mexico. This tahini.
What is it? Oh,
The best thing in the world.
that's hilarious.
It goes on everything. It goes on pizza. It goes on meat. It goes on fruit. It's literally the best thing ever.
On your frozen chocolate.
On my frozen chocolate. Oh, I haven't done that yet.
Oh boy.
Well, enjoy that. Okay. Let's see, last one. Ginny, would you please name, 3 names you'd like if your name wasn't Ginny?
Well, I'd really like my name to, sorry, Mom. I'd really like my name to be spelled Ginny so that people would say it correctly. And then I would like to be named Ellis after my grandfather, or I like Emma or Marlo. I heard a little girl named Marlo the other day. That was a pretty cute name.
I could see you as Marlo. You kind of look like a Marlo. Yeah.
Sorry, Mom. My mom watches these. Hi, Mama.
Hi, Ginny, Mom.
Okay, Aaron, would you please name 3 unconventional jobs you'd like to have?
Oh yes, I would. I would be a farmer. I would be a construction worker, and I would be well, it's kind of along the lines of a farmer. I'd like to run an apple orchard. I know that sounds crazy.
No.
Believe it or not, I have thought about that before. Not actually doing it, but I had this dream. We once went up north and we were taking this Jeep ride around, and this guy starts telling me in this like very deep Israeli accent that he has this apple, he calls it a plantation. That seemed weird to me, but he said it's an apple plantation. And I'm thinking it's like an apple orchard. He says, yeah. So and I'm thinking to myself, I've always wanted an apple orchard and I would love to do that. But I never do it.
Well, you're young. There's still lots of time.
There's lots of time to sow those apple orchards.
The theme being that it's something outdoorsy. I like the outdoors.
Yes.
So that would be exciting for me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Can you please tell everybody where they can find you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs, well, I am kind of an open book, so you can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram is my favorite place for fun outdoorsy things. I'm on Twitter, Aaron Friedman. I'm on where else am I? I have a blog. I write Digital High Rise. You can Google me and find me. I work on that. So,
I will link to everything in the blog post.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. It's good to see you as always.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.